cmpradio.net. It's the station.
Here we go. The train has 16 cars, 10 economy, 6 first class, and remember, only 1 minute stop at every station.
Tired of being stuck on 76, 95, 476, 222? You get the picture. Anyway, jump on this train.
Fuck nuts. The conductor, I don't have a ticket.
Not sure that's your biggest concern.
I mean, shoot, that's why I'm trying to be like what's the old girl name? This Vixen whose name? What's her name? Rainer, something.
Superhead?
Huh?
Superhead?
No, not her, but along those lines, same
Okay.
thing. Though. But yeah. I'm trying to be that to the WNBA.
Oh.
I'm trying to be like them. Those Superhead is my role model. Like she is an inspiration.
I don't think a lot of those WNBA players like what you have to offer.
Oh no, right?
I mean, it might be a sprinkle. You feel me? Like my man E40 say, "Sprinkle me, baby." It might be a sprinkle of females up there that might like what you have to offer, but it ain't that many.
We're probably not going to be on next week. I'm on call next week, so that stuff. Oh man, that interrupts your sleep because these people. I've had a person call out one time, wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't come into work today. My daughter's high school graduation is today, and I can't be late. And I'm sitting there thinking, so I got to get woken up in the middle of the night for a day that you've known was coming since the kid was born. So what? You see what I'm dealing with. So yeah, go me.
It's time for the D train.
And Mama said she was so proud when they made me a manager. She said she's so proud.
With Darren DeVoue.
There's someone else doing a job on this train.
But we know that.
Come on now. There's room for many more.
Hello, yes, and good morning, and it's another beautiful day in Pennsylvania. Hello, and welcome aboard the D Train with Darren DeVoue. I am, of course, Darren DeVoue, and you're on. This is the D Train. Today's run of the D Train, quick express at run. We're going to recap the Clippers' 44-14 victory over the Phoenixville Phantoms, and we're going to do a couple stories on why this is a mad world. But in the meantime, don't forget Duo Taco, deliciousness. It's a cathedral deliciousness, if you will. The bowls, the burritos, in that Enola corn. Don't forget, go to Duo Taco. They're located right there on Avenue of the States, in Overtown, Chester. Okay, excuse me. So last week, we won't have Dom on this week, chewing in our ear, so we don't have that fun to have fun with. But yesterday, Clippers 44-14 over the Phoenixville Phantoms. The third win in a row against the Phantoms. Started off like the previous 2 games had, with the Phantoms maintaining, either having a lead or maintaining it close against the Clippers. They went up 7-0. I wasn't able to keep stats and whatnot, and like on the occasions that I've called the game, I take the stats as I'm calling the game and whatnot, or I take notes, etc. So I was doing spotting because for Dave Berman of Delco Sports 360, that's also on on cmpradio.net, and I was spotting for Dave. So it was interesting because I was real thrown off by the different perspectives. So I'm trying to, usually I'm used to doing everything for myself, writing, blah, blah, talking, blah, blah, blah. But in this one, I'm just simply pointing and keeping an eye. But it really threw me off, like that different perspective, looking at things from a different eye. It's funny like that. Now, before we get into the game, last week's game in the playoffs, I don't know if you've heard, they have a new ticket system. Like when it's the playoffs, they do the tickets for the game differently. So you don't just walk up to the booth at Jet Field and buy your ticket and say, all right, here I am into the game. Playoff games, you have to go online. Now, my ticket, the previous playoff game, was bought for me. So I didn't go through the process of, because you'll see in front of Jet Field as you approach the game, they have the QR codes hanging there for you. Scan it, make the payment, get your ticket, go in. So yesterday, the person that it's paid for my ticket, my lady, hey babe, she paid for my ticket. So yesterday, she sent me a link for the ticket. I didn't think nothing of it. Click on it as I'm approaching the nice people sitting there in front of the stadium waiting to scan. And young lady scans my ticket. And she scans it. And then she's like, makes a face, scans it one more time. She goes, this ticket's been used. To which I was like, it's been used. So that's when I actually click on and look at it, because at first I was just seeing the QR code, which is pictured there. But then I look down at the bottom and I see, you see it right there, it says 37 shares. And at the bottom was a comment from someone that said, thanks for sharing. And I was sitting there going, why, you cheap asses. No. I said it. All right, I ain't going all catch me outside or nothing like that. But listen, a couple of weeks ago, I was waiting for head coach Dennis Shaw after the game. And so I had missed him. And I'm sort of waiting around for nobody. So I'm, milling about through the STEM locker room and what have you. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, man, this is the smart school. And I'm looking around like, damn. So this underserved school, this is the smart school. And here are people sharing tickets just to save a couple of dollars to get into the game. I tell you.
Shame. 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 Shame.
Yeah, if that was me, I'm the high septon. I'm the high septon on that one. Look at that. Shameless. Shameful. Some shameful if I say so myself. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Please, listen. Let's not do that anymore, people. Look, pay for your freaking ticket, okay? It's not much, and these kids need it. The program needs it. The district obviously needs it. And I'm not from here, all right? Again, I'm not from here, and I'm looking at it like makes me want to shower thinking that I might have bumped into someone that used that ticket multiple times. Again.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Shameful stuff. Don't do that no more. As Curtis, which from the Cut Up podcast that airs later on cnpradio.net today, would say, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. So back to the game though. So beautiful performance by once again, even though the Clippers went down 7-0, Phoenixville scored on the first drive, and Phoenixville actually got something going with the passing game for a moment. Then they were hanging tight with Chester, but again, Chester once again put Phoenix in chokehold and just waited until the Phantoms tapped out. I've been talking before about how sophomore Jalen Harris needs to use his pocket more. Oh, man. Right before the half. So it's tight. It's what, 14-7? No. Sugar honey iced tea. Let's look this up real quick. Because again, all right, let's look this up again because let's see if Coach Peach got the stats in for us here. Because right before half, tight game. All right, here we go. See the recap. Am I logged in here? Hold on. Oh, come on. Yo, this Max Preps, they get it. They get the hustle on with the advertising though. Every 15 seconds, a new ad's popping up. All right, so let's see if they got the there isn't no quarter-by-quarter breakdown in the scoring here. So, but Jalen Harris. So right before the half, the Phantoms have the ball. It's 12 seconds or so? They run a play, third down is like maybe 10 seconds, not even. They turn around, head coach Dennis Shaw calls a timeout. Me and the guys are sitting around. We're all sitting there watching the game. We're like, what? Why is he calling a timeout? And mind you, the ball is, if Chester got the ball right then and there, the ball would have still been 60 yards from the end zone. So we're like, we're questioning the wisdom of this decision. Turn around, Phoenixville goes for it on fourth down, doesn't get it. Chester gets the ball back. Maybe 4 seconds left. Harris turns around. He takes a snap, drifts to his left, looking downfield all the while, as I've been praying for, uses a beautiful pocket that was provided to him by the offensive line of the Clippers, steps forward into that thing with his eyes still downfield, throws a beauty, rainbow, to the end zone. Like literally, like the NFL Films music, they have a track called Rainbows to the End Zone. I wish I'd have had, what's his name? Yes, God. I wish I'd have had his camera because I'd have filmed the NFL film style with that. Ball is going towards the end zone. Number 18, Amaj Barrett, with 2 Phoenixville defenders in his face. He didn't so much go up and catch the ball as so much as went up and took it. Like, it wasn't a catch, it was a took. Goes over the defender, snatches that ball, comes down. It was a beauty. It was a beauty. Touchdown. Clippers go into the half up 21-7. And from there, it was all Clippers. Oh, man. So it was interesting, though, watching Phoenixville keep up because all 3 games that I've seen Chester play against Phoenixville, the earlier victory this season, which was, what was the score in that? Let's go back. Click back. Who was the score that Phoenixville? Because Phoenixville was what? That game was the same thing. It was tight, and then it got to a point where I kept saying, it's not over. But eventually Chester choked them out again. The defense, though, let's see. Chester defense. Because I want to make a note about the defense. Oh, shoot, I can't get it. Anyway, yeah, Mr. Harris, I take off my hat and expose my wolfing haircut. I still didn't get a cut yet, P. My mom's got proxies up in here. P was like, get a haircut. I was like, him and my mom been talking. Could you get on him? He always hears it from me. But, yeah, Harris, beautiful game there by him. You know, the Clippers offense doesn't seem to be, it looks like they don't, even though they've been cruising along without junior running back Deshaun Jackson. But the Clippers running game, he was a straw that was stirring the drink because when the Clippers offense would get into trouble, was having trouble moving the ball, they would go to Jackson, power runs up the middle, and it would settle the offense down. But the offense still can run the ball. They have a very diverse running game. I loved it when they had all 3 backs. When you had Deshaun Jackson, Larry McDaniel, and Nyree Melvin. It reminded me of when the Eagles had Deuce Staley, Corey Buckholder, and Brian Westbrook. I used to call him Deuce Westbrook because each back brought something different to the offense that still helped it continue to function. Melvin with his shifty running, McDaniel who can get to the edge, and that's what they mainly use him for. And, man, he scoots to that edge, and he can turn that corner, and then he can do damage to a defense. So those three backs, so it's now down to 2 backs, but the offense is still functioning well with the running game. Still would have been nice to see young Mr. Jackson playing on the field on this run. Next week for the Clippers, Bayard Rustin High School of Westchester. And then does that finally, if they beat them, do they finally seal the Chester Cup? I'm trying to get that pushing. The defense, though. The defense. Again, Stout game from the offensive line. There was a period in the second quarter where Jarrell Palmer, number 6 for your Clippers, he was reminding me of Derrick Brooks, because I remember one spring game, Florida State had to pull Derrick Brooks out of the spring game because he was making all the tackles. And Jarrell Palmer was like that for a stretch in the second quarter. Hell of a backer, D lineman. I love watching him play. Yeah. Speaking of which, the defense, how come I can't get this schedule? Because I want to look this up. The defense, the 14 points that the Clippers gave up yesterday, that's why it's not popping up. I deleted my, hold on, I didn't bookmark this bad boy. As much as I'm on this site. Dum. So let's look at what the defense has done with respect to scoring, because the 14 points that the Clippers gave up yesterday, I was thinking to myself, man, that's got to be the most points they've given up in like 5 weeks. And let's see. And 14 points, 8 points. So in the past 4 games, the Clippers have given up 22 points in 4 games. So that's an average of that's just over 5 points a game. So if the defense can keep that up against Ruston, yeah. You know what, though? The defense has barely been talked about. Like, when I hear people talking, I don't hear them talking about the defense. So they've been flying under the radar, which is good. So maybe that helps to motivate them. So more to that end then, if that's the case, hey, Clippers defense and this coaching staff that does a solid job of keeping them ready for each game. You're all trash. All right? You're all trash. All right, my motivational speech is over. So, next week, Bayard Rustin, 1 o'clock. And please, no cheapskates.
Shame. Shame.
You know what, though? Penalties. Good Lord. They were doing penalties. Yesterday, the Clippers, we talked about it before, the only game that Clippers have been under double digits in penalties was last week against Westmoreland. Upper Moreland, when they beat them 44-0. I want to say that was maybe the second game, but it might have been the only game that the Clippers were under 10 penalties. Now, with 10:55 to go in the third quarter, there was a flag thrown on the Clippers, and the crowd got a unfavorable chant of bullsh going. And I was like, nah. Now, here's the thing about the penalties. I get it, because it's easy. You're looking at them. You're looking at the difference between your team and the team across the field. I get it. My black male paranoia is always set to go. Shoot, there was this Google ad, Google Barbie ad that was on recently. I don't know if you've seen it with the goofy girl. Here's a quick clip of this. Watch this. Because this is where my black man paranoia.
Well, that's my errands for the day. I need a jacuzzi. What is that? The Google app helps me find whatever color I need. And by whatever color, I mean pink.
The only black thing in the commercial makes her scream and go, "What's that?" That's coded language. So I get it, Clippers fans. I get it. It's easy to look back and say, "Oh, look at all these flags they throwing on." Because I do it all the time. Oh, it's because I'm black, isn't it? It's because I'm black. But I got to tell you, they're calling these so many of these holding penalties because they're holding. All right, there's some kind of technique issue that the boys aren't doing right when they get up into a guy, whether they're trying to hold their block a little too long and they don't let go. Because initially, when you make a block, most kids are coached. When you make that block, grab those chest protector part of his pads real quick. And if he starts to get away from you, then just give him an extra shove at the end, throw him a little off bounce, make it harder for him to make that play. But again, the young men are getting these penalties called on them because they're doing it. All right, so it's got to be addressed and cleaned up because that's going to bite them in the ass. Holy smokes, it was fast. I wasn't able to keep track because I was doing the spotting for Dave. But again, I wasn't able to keep track. But it had to be about 17. It was close to 20. Like if you have that many turnovers in a basketball game, that's bad, real bad. So let alone penalties in a football game where there's less. You can't keep that up, Clippers. All right, that will hurt you. So yeah, I was late in the game. I looked towards there's a couple of Chester coaches that sit near where I sit usually as they're coaching, and so late in the game as the hay was in the barn, I looked up to the one coach and I said, "Hey, next year, you guys got to be ready for these guys. They're going to be pissed. You done pulled away from them 3 times in a row." He said, "They're not playing us next year." I said, "Huh?" And he said that the coach told him that, they were taking him off the schedule for next. I said, "Uh-huh." Again, back to that coded language. Hold on.
Well, that's my errands for the day. I need a jacuzzi. What is that? The Google app helps me find whatever color I need. And by whatever.
My man, that Phoenixville coach said, what's that? Multiple losses to this black team. He said, these black kids in their underfunded school district in comparison to me and this freaking football church that I have, if they keep losing to them, they're going to get my ass fired. We taking them off the schedule. That's that. Punk ass. Oh, man. When I was on earlier this last Monday, I was on Delco Sports 360 with Dave Berman, and we were talking about Dave got an actual text from someone on the Phoenixville coaching staff and was talking a little smack about, how they were going to talk if they when they win. Wish I had a screenshot of that, John. I wish I'd have sought him out yesterday. Hey, buddy. I should have checked that name on that thing. I don't know. Yeah, but speaking of the Clippers' only loss, season opener, 31-0, shutout loss to Perkiomen Valley. Perkiomen Valley went down in the playoffs yesterday. And Downingtown West, the Clippers' biggest win of the season, they advanced in the 6A regionals in District 1. So, yeah, I guess we'll be there next week at 1 o'clock at Jet Field and watch the Clippers continue to sail on deeper into the playoffs. Exciting stuff. With that said, though, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to do a couple of stories about how mad of a world this is. You're on the D Train with Darren DeVoue on cmpradio.net. It's the station.
Yeah, what you want?
The white ass says to get off at next stop, holding the briefcase or he will kill everyone on that train.
Okay, yeah, I can make it.
We are not ramping down. We're just getting started. Nothing stops this train. Nothing.
I missed my stop.
Why?
Because God hates me.
No, she doesn't. Get off at the next stop.
And we're back. Oh, you got a new mayor this week, Chester. Oh, I hope you voted, folks, because if not, you're a terrible black person. All right? Don't vote. Vote because they don't want you to. That's what I always used. That's how I remember. Don't vote to be your civic duty or nothing. Vote because they don't want you to. That's why. All right? Not even just to be a good American. So, congratulations to presumptive mayor. I keep calling him presumptive. Now we can drop that. Cut that presumptive from the title. Congrats. You got your new mayor. Can you feel the brand new day, Chester? So I'm looking forward to, hopefully I got something to contribute to help Mr. Roots in his quest, the daunting challenges that he faces. Not daunting, exciting, kind of, you know? I mean, if it was easy, it wasn't worth a damn. And adversity, if you welcome adversity, which Mr. Roots is obviously doing, that's a virtue. So you're in a good spot right now, Chester. I think I see, if it was a stock market, I'd say trending up. So real quick, so let's talk about, let's finish off with a couple of stories. And this one is sort of local. Well, not sort of. Is that Montgomery County? Yeah, Conshohocken. So this is the Bar Luca, and it's in Conshohocken. And what happened was a chef got into a fight or argument with a staff member. The fight escalated, and then the chef stabbed the staff member with what the news is saying is, the Daily Voice is saying, none life-threatening injuries to the victim. The chef was, quote unquote, charged appropriately, and he was found a block down the street, and I guess just waiting, getting that last cigarette in before you gotta go to jail. Oh,
he's going to jail. He belongs in jail. Bet your ass he's going to jail. Yeah.
Actually, I got my sources. I'll be out in these streets, and so I have firsthand exclusive testimony and actually firsthand recording from the incident in question.
Oh, he's getting closer. Oh, it stabbed me. I didn't see that coming. Oh, he stabbed a lady behind me. He's a stabbing fool. Guess that's why they call him Stabby.
He poked him up. And the interesting thing about this story to me is, I've worked for years in restaurants, front and back of the house, all right? Yeah, and there's been multiple fights. I remember there was one fight when I worked there Fridays on City Line, these two bussers. Dude, it was hilarious. There was this one busser, and he was very prideful about his job. I'm sure he took that on to further things, because he was always coming in uniform, clean, always on top of it. His customer table spotless, this, that, and the third. And then another busser came up to his station and just threw some cups or whatever in there. My man said, "Yo, Larry, I'm gonna tell you one more time. Stop throwing some stuff in my station." Larry looked at him and went, "What you gonna do?" My man said, and I'm sitting there watching this because I'm like, "What you gonna do?" "I'm gonna f you up." I was like, "Oh." Then next time, that's when I stepped away, because then they started walking towards each other. I was like, "Oh, let me get on out of here, because I ain't seen nowhere near this shit, because I ain't part of it." They started throwing down right there on the floor, knocking over tables. Oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. My man had the one prideful busser, though. He had nerve to think. He was like, "What? Can you believe they fired me?" No. No, can't believe it, dog. Can't believe it. But yeah, all the fights that I've seen, and one that I might have been involved in restaurants, I never saw, it was always with hands. Nobody, and I thought when I read this story, I was like, oh my God, all those fights, there was knives all around the place. It's almost a miracle that nobody got stabbed. Especially when somebody when it started to become obvious that the L's about to get taken. I'm surprised nobody just reached in. I've seen a couple of guys bite people, but never anybody reach to go stab it. So yeah. So what is my man being charged with? I'm assuming, let's see. He said charged appropriately. But I would assume at the very least assault. Reckless assault. It says charged appropriately. It doesn't say what he's getting charged with. Funny how that works. We're talking that coded language, see? What's that? So in our last story, this story is kind of funny because we talked about the Black Israelites before. I've made the jokes, what have you. But one thing that always irks me about when the media discusses the Black Israelites, and it was in an article that I read this week, the same thing. They keep calling them anti-Semitic. And then I'm waiting, okay, because I always say, where's anti-Semitism? Because they say devil, but they talk about the white man in general. They're not talking about Jews in particular. Especially, it doesn't make sense when they've got the Star of David all over them. So this anti-Semitism accusation never flushed with me. So I couldn't understand it. So in the article, sure enough, it says that the Black Israelites view themselves as the original Hebrews and seen. And that's your anti-Semitism, huh? Somewhere Joseph Stalin's going, if that's the case, these guys ain't doing it right. Because come on. I think, again, it's implied right there. You saying that you black guys saying that you're original, that's hate. So in Indianapolis, there's Black Israelites there too. I was like, oh wow, look at that. So in Indianapolis, this here is Ruba Almagith. I'm gonna get locked up after I did this stupid shit. She is of Palestine. She's related to Palestinian folks, and Ruba, seeing the Jewish Star of David on the Black Israelites school in Indianapolis, decided that she was going to strike back for quote unquote get her people back in Palestine. Strike out for her people, quote unquote, her people back in Palestine. Video shows the car ramming the school. Now, here's the thing though, miss. She needed Obi-Wan Kenobi to come and explain to her, these aren't the Jews you're looking for. These aren't the Jews you're looking for. Not quite, sweetheart. Don't. So yeah, she is charged with reckless. What is she charged with? She's charged with criminal recklessness, intimidation, and institutional criminal mischief. Whatever the hell that means. Hold on, can we look that up real quick, Darren? Institutional criminal mischief. I think we're splitting hairs here, but institutional criminal mischief. Felony when the it's a felony when the involved amount exceeds $2,000 or the merchandise involved is a firearm or a motor vehicle. So there we go. You learn something new every day. Hopefully, Miss Alchemist will start to get her Jews straight after this, though. Oh, my goodness. So with that, folks, that brings us to the end of this express route. We're going to be on next week, even though I'm on call. Y'all bring it. Y'all bring y'all foolishness this week. I'm ready for y'all. But don't forget, if you miss any of CMPRadio.net's content, such as the aforementioned Delco Sports 360 with Dave Berman, or Finding Humility Through Change with Ampa Abdul Waki, and you can check out any of CMPRadio.net's content on the CMPRadio.net Facebook page or the CMP Radio page on YouTube. And also later on today, don't forget the Sisters on Air podcast, preceded by the Cut Up podcast with Curtis and apparently a lady who has what I saw described as a toe curling coochie. So there we go there. But in the meantime, folks, don't forget next week, again, we'll see you with more Run of the D Chain. Also, keep your eyes out on the CMP Facebook page. We're going to be posting some content. But until then, thank you so much for spending a few minutes here on your Sunday morning with me. And be a friend to your future self, in the words of KRS-One. And we'll see you next week.
You will both off the board at Kyoto Station. Then your business with him will be concluded.
Man, I just want to get off this train and go see a Zen garden and some shit, you know?